Hey, this is Spartan 300 Therm. Today I'm going to be going noob to pro with Reus. Or Reuse, I'm not sure which. I'd say Reuse, but there's not an E at the end, so that's not really helping me out. So now, I have a lot of things to say about this game. All of which are good. I cannot say a single bad thing about this game, except for how much more potential it could have accomplished, which, to tell you the truth, isn't really much. So now, I will do... Well, I doubt the video would be a half hour, and that's the shortest amount of time. And first off, what I'd like to talk about is the way the game, I guess you could say, limits play. Where there's 30-minute mode, 60-minute mode, and 2-hour mode. Or there's just free play, which I guess is continuous play. I haven't tried it yet. I probably should have tried it before making the video, but hey. So now, I guess I'll do 120-minute mode. I'll probably continue playing afterward. And what does that? Pretty much, sorry. Sorry, I just ate. I'm, like, getting stuck in my throat. I don't know why. So now, it pretty much limits your time of play. So I guess you could say that, like, if someone's on a limited schedule and they say, I have a half hour to play, half-hour mode. Or if someone wants to play for a long period of time, 2-hour mode. Why not? So now let's begin. So now. So now, first off, you can choose your objectives. The objectives that you choose aren't the only ones available. It's just that for some reason, these are the only ones that are shown in the top left. Even though, like, if I have this, the one right here available, and these are still achievable. It's just that they're not shown, which is very strange. So now, as you can see, this isn't a particularly good-looking game, but you'll almost never be looking in this close. And whenever you do, I mean, the game has more appeal in terms of in terms of what it's showing, much rather than how well it shows it. The sounds in this are good. I mean, the aesthetic stuff, sound and graphics aren't particularly notable, but they're competent. So now, we have a barren planet, and we have 4 giants. Each one is a tool. I have the Earth Giant, the Ocean Giant, the Swamp Giant, and the Forest Giant. I feel as though I said forest twice. I don't know why. So now, he can create forests, he can create swamps, he can create mountains, which for some reason turn into deserts, I don't know why, and he can create oceans. The swamp and forest require ocean to survive because it needs to be wet. The strange thing is, though, that oceans are saltwater, so, like, can trees survive on saltwater? I mean, I said this in the newbie to noob. I don't know if trees can survive on saltwater. So now, let's create our ocean. So, this game is played on a, I guess you could say 2.5D plane. It's really 2D. And let's build a forest. Nope, not you, Mountain Giant. A forest. No. There we go. So let's build a forest in the hydrated area. If it's not there, the area will still remain dead. Because this is called Wasteland. So let's get everyone over here so that way they can use their powers. So now I have my forest. Now humans will settle here. However, they need a reason to settle. But as you can see by this marker, there's a nomad roaming the planet. Nomads can turn into villages. Let's give them a reason to settle here. First off, they're going to need food. That's really all they need to settle here. Sorry. So now, if I were to use my fruit ability on, say, a swamp instead of a forest, I'd get elderberry, not blueberries. So the different abilities act differently on different locations. So now, as you can see, the human found the food, so now he wants to settle here. So now the tower and bunker represent the furthest border by land, and it would be on the other side. However, there's an ocean here, so the border expands into the ocean, so it uses buoys instead. However, another awesome feature about this game that I love is symbiosis. So now, I'm about to explain what just happened in a second. So now symbiosis is, as you can read in the top right, I will get plus 10 food from here if I'm next to an apple tree, a dandelion, or a strawberry. So now, let's fulfill that symbiosis. I will place another fruit plant to create a blueberry, and what you can do is that you can transmutate things, where each guy can cast things on various resources, and when they cast them, some of them will just give straight-up benefits, but others allow them to transform into different items entirely that provide their own benefits and have their own symbiosis. So now, in order to turn into strawberry, which the blueberry will benefit from, as you can see here, I need to use, if you can read, transmutates with a lesser leaf aspect or better. So now, I will use my leaf aspect. Since it's level 1, I'll have lesser. I'll place it here. So now he gets a benefit, as you can see in the aspects. He'll get plus 2 attack and plus 1 natura. As you can see, the town, anything within their border, they'll benefit from. So there's 5 food coming from here, 5 food coming from here. So there's up to 10 food available. This is the number on the right is food available. The number on the left is the food in use. I'll slowly go up until it hits the food available. But the further it is from the food available, and the further in use it is available in comparison to the food available, the faster it will rise. So it will rise faster from 6 to 7 as it will from 7 to 8. So now, I can either keep the aspect, however, this blueberry plant will benefit if I turn this into strawberry. So let's do it. So now it has its own symbiosis now. So now he benefits if he's next to a blueberry. So now you have mutual symbiosis going on. And he has his own benefit, which is +5 awe if next to a dandelion or strawberry. So I can either turn these into strawberries further and then place more blueberries here. And as you can see, you get this whole complex ecosystem. And some plants or animals will benefit. Like, some plants benefit if there are animals next to them. So you get all the symbiosis coming from. And my one complaint about the game, and it's not really a complaint, it's just an opinion, is that I feel as though there should also be, like, negative symbiosis. I think that defeats the word symbiosis. Negative, like, parasitic relationships, where, say, for instance, if the strawberry... Say, for instance, that there were 10 strawberry plants next to each other, they might be competing over the food and space, so they'll start killing each other, so you get less benefits. But it doesn't really make too much sense. It kind of does. But also, like, it makes the game slightly more intense, and from what I can tell, this game seems to be relatively casual. However, the forest giant isn't the only guy that can plant in forests. I can use him to create exotic animals, I can use him to create domesticated animals, and let's do that. Because I know that the chicken, which is the animal that you get if you place it here, benefits if it's next to blueberries. So now, chicken. His symbiosis is if next to a blueberry, +3 food. In this game, I have played this game addictively ever since I got it, only with occasional breaks to play some other things and to eat and sleep. Like, I cannot stop playing this game. I love it so much. So now for the project that they started. So basically what happens is that they want to build a fishing dock. If I don't like their project, I can use either the earth giant to cause an earthquake and destroy it, which could destroy the town also, or I can use a sludge bomb to destroy it, which is safer and won't do as much damage to the town. Actually, muck bomb, but hey. So now, if they complete the project, I will get an ambassador, which upgrades new abilities. Like, since it's a forest village, I'll get a forest ambassador. And if I gave him to the swamp giant, which one benefits from forest? This one. He'll unlock the reaction aspect. So, you get all this relation stuff going on. And some of these will upgrade only if they have a reaction aspect. If I gave him a forest aspect, I'd get fruit aspect, and I could turn that into a pear tree. It's very cool. So now what happens is that this, if it's completed, first off, I'm on a time limit, but second, if it's completed, the town will gain a special benefit. So fishing, +5 food for each fish, and +10 food for each fish within 2 patches of the fishing dock. So now the ocean is different. So now I use my domestic animal ability, and if I place it on a forest, I get chickens. However, if I place it in ocean, I get mackerel. I feel as though I pronounced that wrong. So now what happens is that if this was completed, I'd get the benefit. So now they also need wealth. And one way to acquire wealth is with precious minerals, which the mountain giant would happily provide. So let's place some precious minerals within their border. Actually, this isn't within their border, but the border does expand. So now, shelter, +10 wealth if next to an animal nest. One weird thing I've noticed in the game, though, is that this is an animal nest from what I can tell, and it doesn't seem to be benefiting from a symbiosis ability. I don't really know why. It's weird. So now, I can upgrade these guys into a parrotfish, which I already know what it does, and the parrotfish is very awesome. So now let's place exotic animals here. Exotic animals, instead of giving food, sometimes they give food, they also give wealth. So now in this case I get clownfish. Now let's place another, domestic animals. And now let's upgrade one of my domestic animals into a parrotfish, which requires the lesser exotic or lesser herd. Which, lesser herd I don't have yet, so that kind of killed what I was going for, but once I get it. So now this village, it's almost got enough wealth. What else can I do to give it more wealth? Oh, there's a free patch right there. Precious mineral. Oh, no, never mind, I'm not allowed to place there. Also, if I don't like what I place, like say if I want to get rid of these chickens, I can just place precious minerals on them, and it'll replace the chickens. So let's create another environment, because if you have only one town, your planet won't be as prosperous, because there's only so much space that they can take up. So let's create another town. He's going to do that. He's going to create a swamp. Then I'll put some elderberries there, which is fruit. And, I mean, it's just very cool. I mean, I've not been able to stop playing this game. I really haven't. So now let's place some exotic animals over the mackerel. I'm still not sure. So now let's plant some fruit here, so that way humans will not settle there. So now here's something cool. There's also something called greed, where if a village expands too fast, it'll start to get greedy. And if there are other villages, it will declare war and attempt to destroy them. And the more wars it wins, the more powerful the village will become, so it will be better at fighting wars because it has a more experienced army, and so on and so forth. However, they can also try to rebel against the giants, in which case you can just blow up the village. I've never been in a situation where a village has been strong enough to kill the giants. I've only been in one situation where a village even attacked my giants, and I just, went up to them with the rock giant and just earthquaked them. So now let's see if I can get these guys to declare war. And their greed is going down. That's not good. Well, it's good for me, but for the demonstration purposes, not so much. So now these guys want a school. So, it requires 15 technology to be in use, and 3 food to be in use. Are these guys going to have enough? Yes, they will, because that requires 10. So now it's completed. So now they get a benefit, and that is plus 5 food for each fish within this border. Now it's plus 5 food in general, and then plus 10 food for each fish within 2 patches of the dock. So that's plus 5 for the mackerel, and plus 5 for the clownfish. No, plus 10, so that's 20. So, I know already, because I've played this game for quite a lot, that if I place poison dart frogs, which are the exotic animal which is if I place exotic animals in a swamp, I get poison dart frogs, benefit from the elderberry. However, I want these guys to have food, so I'll use domestic animals instead, which will also benefit from the elderberry. I forget what it's called, but... So yeah, you get frogs. And then the frogs benefit if they're next to elderberries, and they get additional range. And, I mean, this game can go on and on. You can get really complex chains of symbiosis, because some things benefit from one thing but not another. I'm pretty sure, in deserts, there's one thing that benefits, so I think it's quartz. So if you have another quartz next to quartz, it'll give you additional gold, and then if you also have rocks, which is another type of mineral in the game, next to quartz, it'll give you additional technology. However, and then if you have rocks next to an animal nest, then the rocks will gain something, and then depending on the animal nest, that might benefit if it's next to a certain type of fruit, and then one might benefit if it's next to ocean. So you get these long chains of symbiosis going on until you get a really high-tech village. And then what happens is that later, the more upgraded versions tend to be better and give more of whatever it is they give, or just different things entirely, but in greater amounts. So as a result, there's a very good reason. So then when you upgrade them, you have entirely different symbioses. I think symbiosis. You have entirely different symbiosis going on, so you need to build over some things and then re-upgrade them. This game is just so great, and then you get more villages, and then the villages will want massive projects. So however, since you're on a time limit, you need to get a good balance between making the project happen within the time limit, but not making the town too greedy. And sometimes you want a greedy town because I'm pretty sure that if they win wars, they become more prosperous, and also sometimes if they're competing for land, so they declare war on each other, the other town dies, so then they can expand their borders again. I mean, this game is just so great. I have not found a single reason not to buy this game. Unless you're very into violent games or just hate this genre entirely, you should get this game. And it's pretty cheap. And I'm pretty much like a spoiled brat, so it might be cheap to me. I'm not sure how it would be to others. So you can get it for $15 off of Steam. Once again, great game. Get this if you can. If you can't, get it anyway. So yeah, $15 on Steam. I'm Spartan300 Therm. A like and subscription are appreciated, and I will see you next time.